Hello, coffee connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Snob Reviews. I'm your host, the Coffee Snob, and today we are going to be reviewing Caramel Apple by Bones Coffee Company. Let's go! So if this isn't your first time around the block with me, first of all, thank you very much for spending some time with me and watching my coffee review videos. I really appreciate that. Secondly, you know the drill. We're going to smell the coffee. We're going to talk about it, we're going to brew it, we'll talk a little bit about the company, though not necessarily in as much depth this time since I've already covered coffee from this company in a previous video. Highly recommend you go check it out. Then we're going to taste the coffee unsweetened, we're going to talk about it, we're going to put a little bit of a sweetener in it, we're going to taste the coffee with a sweetener in it, we're going to talk about it, and then we'll say our goodbyes. So let's give it the old sniff test, because it even says, smell me. Squeeze and sniff we shall. Ooh. It's got a really sweet, really pleasant scent to it, but I want to open this up. I want to get a better smell. You can really smell the caramel. Like, it really comes out. And I kind of like the fact that it's more of a caramel than an apple at this point. I think like the caramel is going to go really well in the coffee once we sweeten it. Of course, we're going to have to brew it to find out, but that's just my theory. Caramel Apple by Bones Coffee is a medium roast, and with the delightful coffee scent on top of the actual caramel scent, I personally can't wait to try this coffee brewed. I actually, believe it or not, I cannot wait to try it sweetened, because my theory is that this is going to ultimately end up tasting like what would remind me of a hot cocoa or a hot chocolate. But there's really only one way to find out, so what do you say we go get this brewing? And now we wait. Waiting for coffee is quite literally the worst thing about coffee. But while we wait, let's talk a little bit about the company. I'm not going to go too in depth because I've done a coffee review from Bones Coffee before. In fact, I did the peanut butter and jelly one. But I will go ahead and touch a little bit about what is on their bags, as well as some stuff that I learned on Twitter about the company and their coffee. First of all, Bones Coffee is certified by OK Kosher, so if that is a concern for you, this coffee is kosher. Secondly, they are a part of the Rainforest Alliance, and that means that they buy coffee from Rainforest Alliance certified farms, helping them protect the environment and the farming communities as well. That's pretty respectable in my book. The other thing that I learned about this company from their Twitter account is that they are vegan, which the more I think about it, I think I would be a little bit more concerned if they weren't, especially since we're talking about coffee beans. The other thing that I found out through their Twitter is that they're keto friendly, and that was actually a really big question in my mind, especially with all of these really sweet flavors. What are you curing your beans with? What are you roasting your beans with? Is it something that can throw somebody out of ketosis if they're doing the keto diet? Their coffee is keto friendly all the way up until you put some sugar in it. However, there are a lot of keto friendly sweeteners out there. So if you like having some sweet coffee, being on keto doesn't necessarily mean that you can't enjoy a sweetened coffee. Well, I just heard the coffee pot beep, and that means it is time for my favorite part of the videos, actually drinking coffee. Let's go. Before we taste it, I want to give it a smell, see what it smells like brewed. Cheers, guys. It's a very mild smell. And it's very interesting to me that it's a very mild smell, because you definitely got a very caramel scent when you were smelling the coffee beans. Now that it's brewed, it's really dialed back. So now I'm really curious as to what this is going to taste like. It's got a very, very mild scent, so I'm kind of assuming that it's going to have a mild flavor until we get it sweetened. So here we go. First taste, unsweetened. Hold the sugar, because you're sweet enough for the both of us. Ooh. That's very light. That's very light for a medium roast coffee. I typically enjoy a medium or a dark roast coffee, and normally the flavors are a little bit more bold when you have a medium and a dark roast coffee. I'm very taken back in a pleasant way how light this coffee is for being a medium roast. I'm very pleasantly surprised that there are zero acidic flavors in this. In fact, it is very subtly sweet in the aftertaste. As it stands right now, I'm getting more of a subtle sweet flavor in the aftertaste of this unsweetened cup of coffee. And I more or less think that's going to translate out into the caramel flavor once we get this coffee sweetened. With that being said, I am grateful that it's more of a caramel flavor than an apple flavor, because I kind of feel like an apple flavored coffee would be a little bit weird unless you did kind of like an apple cinnamon, apple pie flavored coffee. That might actually be really good, especially for a dessert coffee. But I'm beyond curious. I'm not even going to lie. I typically like my coffee black, no sugar. But I'm very, very excited to try this coffee sweetened, and I can't believe that I'm hearing myself speak these words. Blasphemy! But without further ado, I want to go put some sugar in this coffee, so let's go put some sugar in this coffee. So we're back, and we have 2 spoonfuls of sugar in this cup of coffee. And we're going to see what it's like. But before we do, we're going to smell it again. Let's go. It smells the same. It's not going to taste the same, though. Cheers, guys. Ooh. That is so mild and so light, and it is so refreshing. Even with 2 spoonsful of sugar in it, which I personally feel like is a lot of sugar, it is not overpowering. I said that word right. It has an overall sweet taste to it, as well as a very pleasant caramel flavor and aftertaste in it. All in all, even with the sugar, this is a very light cup of coffee, and I appreciate that. So as of right now, my thoughts about bone coffee and my thoughts about this caramel apple coffee is that I'm enjoying the caramel apple coffee more than I enjoyed the peanut butter and jelly coffee. I'm not saying that the peanut butter and jelly coffee was bad. I'm just saying it wasn't really my taste. This is more up my alley. This is more my taste. Personally speaking, I would definitely buy the caramel apple coffee from Bones Coffee Company again in an absolute heartbeat. As it stands right now, caramel apple is my favorite coffee that I've done from Bones Coffee Company. But we still have one more bag from them tucked away for a future review, and I'm not opposed to buying more coffee from them, so I guess we'll see how long that lasts. But guys, that's all the time I have for coffee reviews today. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me and watching this video. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the time that you spent with me. Thank you so much. If you would like to try the caramel apple coffee or any of the coffees by Bones Coffee Company, I will have a link to their website in the description of this video. Have you ever tried Bones Coffee before? Have you had the caramel apple? Please let me know that down in the comment section. If there's any coffees that you want me to try and review, please let me know that in the comment section as well. And until next time, I'm the Coffee Snob. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, guys. Lots of bloopers in this one. Let's go. Caramel Apple by Bones Coffee is a medium roast, and I just launched my mouse. Is it caramel or caramel? Let me know down in the comments. Although it's going to be spelled the same way, so I'm just going to read it caramel. One last thing that I would like to not fumble through my words. What just happened? How did the hipster burn his tongue? He drank his coffee before it was cool. If you're not drinking coffee out of a sarcastic mug, what are you doing with your life? Thank goodness I am a mature and responsible adult. Bruh, if you think about it, coffee is really just like a breakfast soup. But hey, that's just my theory. A coffee theory. Shorty got them apple caramel beans. Now for my second favorite part about making these videos, drinking the remainder of the entire pot of coffee while I do the editing process and then staying up all night. Let's go! Personally speaking, I would definitely buy the caramel Rip. How does a tech person drink their coffee? They install Java. Then we're gonna taste the coffee unsweetened, talk about it, then we'll taste about. Wow, blooper. Squeeze and sniff. I smelled the right side this time. Booyah. I recently made some new friends online, and I sent some of them my coffee videos. One of them responded saying that I need to stop looking into the souls of my viewers as I sip my coffee. And my response to that is simply, no. I enjoy doing it. Very much. So this one's for you, Cat. P.S. I'm just saying, I would push you in front of zombies to save my cat. I'm not sorry about it.